Good friend Sheree Clark from Fork in the Road, and whenever we are in discussions with people that visit the program on a weekly basis, Sheree Clark's name does come up, Jackie, and I'm not so sure you use the same story I use, but we're trying to describe some of the things that Sheree has brought to us that stick out. And one of the things that stick out the most that you brought over is one of the first things that you brought over when you start doing this program is you brought over some cauliflower steaks. And still, I was amazed at how good they really were. And now it sounds like you have some other things that you can use cauliflower for to help replace some other items that you might be eating on a regular basis.
I do. I'm using my head today.
How about that? But
I'm here all week. Yes, you're right. Cauliflower steaks, I had forgotten that was one of the very first
ones you ever did.
Yes, it marinated. So I didn't bring that today, and I should have, because just to revisit it. But I brought lots of other things. So cauliflower, let's talk about it for just a second. We know that it's a cruciferous vegetable, and so it's joined in a family that includes broccoli and cabbages and things that are really good for our digestive system. Here's an example of a beautiful head of cauliflower. This is a really nice looking one. What I like about this is that there are no black spots. You'll see them sometimes. If you get them in the store and they've got a black spot, what you're going to want to do is cut them off. It might be starting to just spoil a little bit of mold.
Yeah.
Yep. And then what we're looking for is some nice greenery. So this is nice, crisp greenery. So this is this would be a head of cauliflower that I would definitely purchase. Size doesn't matter as much as it does in some things. Unless it's sold by the head, then you're going to want to buy the biggest one that you can because you get a better value.
Deal.
Exactly. Now, how do we know cauliflower is good for us? Well, one clue is it's an ingredient in some multivitamins. It's actually listed, yes, and this is an example of one. This is a vegan vitamins, and it's all plant-based, and so cauliflower is actually listed as one of the ingredients, so we know it's good for us.
How about that?
Isn't that cool?
It's a way of getting vegetables into our diets, but why is it the main alternative as to so many things that we're seeing now with the special diets that are coming out? They're saying instead of a carb, you can use cauliflower. When was that decided that that was like the ultimate alternative?
Well, it's remember kale being the little darling of the vegetable world for a while? I think cauliflower is the next one. You've heard it here. And part of the reason is cauliflower is very, very versatile. It can be, it's actually in a beverage. I do that to make it creamy. I can rice it to have it substitute as a grain, which you were talking about, Jackie. It's a substitute for some of the carbs that people eat. And it is, this entire head of cauliflower probably contains about 125, 130 calories. So you could eat this entire head, not that you necessarily would, you could eat a whole head. So it's low in calories, it's high in fiber, and it works really well as a substitute in a whole bunch of recipes.
Okay.
So want me to prove it?
Yeah, what did you bring along here? Because we have a ton of stuff.
Yes, we do, and so we'll go quickly. So in the largest bowl there, a really typical dish that we would have is we call tabouli, and tabouli is typically used made with bulgur wheat. It's got parsley, tomatoes, onions, a little bit of garlic, some olive oil, lemon juice. It's a traditional Mediterranean dish. In this case, instead of using any grains, I used cauliflower.
Okay.
And so by ricing the cauliflower,
I was gonna say, so chopped up really, really small.
Chopped up really small. So one of the ways that you would do that would be you would take a food processor, use the S blade, and just chop it. Or if you wanted to, you could go into the store.
No, they have it done already?
And buy riced cauliflower, exactly.
Oh.
So this is a really easy way of doing it.
Where would you find it? I've never seen that.
The natural food stores carry that. It's typically in the produce section. But to be frank with you, you can rice your cauliflower yourself. All you have to do is break off a few of the chunks, throw it in the food processor with the S blade, pulse it a few times, and boom, you've got riced cauliflower.
Is that what this is? The riced variation of
That's exactly
cauliflower?
Yep. And I brought that along to show you what else we could do with it.
Okay.
So this is simply one ingredient in this package, and it says there's 5 servings, and each serving contains 20 calories.
That's about what you said. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. So I think it really works nicely as a stand-in for
it
the
doesn't
bulgur wheat.
overpower whatever else you put in there, because I can taste some of the olive that's in there,
Yes,
which is really good.
Yep, olives and olive oil and so forth. So I really like it as a substitute. It's also great as a substitute for rice in sushi. So I make a vegetarian sushi that has no rice in it, has riced cauliflower, and it does the same thing, and it works really, really well.
To get people to eat more cauliflower, is it a matter of masking the flavor, or what's the key?
It depends on the person. I personally like the taste of cauliflower, but there are times that I don't like it, like if it's been around too long. It's like because it's a member of the cabbage family, it accumulates a stink.
Yeah,
we'll put it nicely, right? It gets the sulfur kind of comes forward.
It sounds like sulfur. Yeah.
Sulfury, exactly. So we've got the plain cauliflower. Then what I did for you was I brought you in the metal container. I just brought a sauce. So very simple way of having lunch, for example. So the riced cauliflower that we bought at the store, I made a simple sauce with almonds, and so it's a nut-based. It's also a vegan sauce. Almonds, nutritional yeast.
Right
so
in here?
Oh, you betcha.
Okay.
There you go. That's lunch. So we'll serve it as though it were rice. So just some lemon juice, nutritional yeast, a little bit of garlic, just a nice little sauce that you put on top of your cauliflower. Again, staying low in calories, but high in nutrition. And simple, easy way of getting some good cauliflower into
Kind
you.
of like a cauliflower coleslaw.
Right, exactly, yeah. And you could shred up some broccoli if you wanted to add some color to it, or just change it a little bit. So what do you think of that?
It's got a great nutty flavor, and the cauliflower, like we mentioned, it takes on the taste of whatever you put in it.
Exactly. That's what I really like about it. To me, it's a very neutral taste.
I'm a texture person, so I love the sauce by itself, which could go with a lot of different vegetables.
Yes.
So if you're wanting to add a little texture and something that's good for you, that's an easy way of
Yes.
doing that without saying, oh, I'm eating cauliflower.
That's really good.
Correct. You could make it into a dish.
Right.
Okay. So let's just say that this sounds still too complicated for you. We could go to the store and get a whole bunch of different things. We could go, for example, and buy some already made crackers. And this one is made with yes,
cauliflower crackers. Really? Are they up here?
They're up there.
So no.
There are other things in it, but
Okay.
they're not grain. There's no
no
gluten.
grain.
Right.
Okay.
So the ingredients on here are cassava flour is the first ingredient. Then the second is cauliflower flour.
Wow.
Non-GMO
That's a regular
cornstarch.
cracker.
Yeah, it tastes just like a regular cracker. I just really think it's great, and it's really good with that dip or with the
try it.
sauce
As I
as
say,
well.
the dip would be really good with this as well. But and you're staying in a healthier, you know me, chips and dip.
Exactly.
It's like this would be a healthier
That is really good.
way of
Yes.
doing it if you don't want to physically create
Yes.
the cauliflower cracker.
Pretzels too. I held up the pretzels when we were talking about the crackers. Now we'll talk about pretzels, and I'll hold up crackers.
Cauliflower crackers and
Cauliflower
pretzels.
crackers and pretzels, and they just it's another way of getting more nutrition into our kids for their snacks and
That
what have
works.
you.
Well, you sold me because that's my weakness, and that's where I get a lot of my unfortunate calories because
Yes.
you'll just sit there and eat and dip and whatnot. So if you can do it in a healthier way, I'm all about it. And that's not a
Exactly.
bad flavor at all.
No, I think it's great. If we wanted to substitute something like bread, what we could do would be to do this. Now this is a cauliflower bread substitute. Yes. Here's something I
Really?
want you to know about this. Both of these things. This is a cauliflower pizza crust substitute.
I've heard of them. I've heard of
Yes.
them.
Yep.
Now, and there's a pizza place in Des Moines that's selling this. The pizza
Really?
place in Des Moines is vegan pizza. Both of these have eggs as an ingredient. So if anybody listening knows that I'm vegetarian vegan, I do need to tell you that these do have eggs in them. So if that's part of your dietary restriction. So I'll just pass this on over to you. If you want to tear off a piece or share with Jackie, you can try it. I want to give you fair
Try it with
warning.
the sauce.
As
Yeah,
I say-
it's good with the sauce. It's
Okay.
exactly right. It's exactly right. Usually we don't eat bread. If I were passing around English muffins, they'd be toasted or they
Right.
would have something on them. So in fairness to this bread, it's plain.
Yeah, but it has a good texture to it. That's the thing about if you don't have wheat-based bread with gluten in it, it's really grainy. And this is
Exactly.
not real
Well,
grainy.
the thing for me trying to incorporate this into loved ones' lives, you mentioned cauliflower and they run the other direction. If you gave this to them without saying what it was, I don't
They're
think
gonna
they
eat
would
it.
know.
They'll
No, exactly.
I don't think they would know.
That's exactly
Okay,
right.
we have to get to something I've been staring at for a while, and that is how you liquefied cauliflower this morning. What in the world is this thing?
I made you a smoothie, and in your smoothie is
Okay.
simply banana, cauliflower, peanut butter, and a little bit of almond milk, and that's it.
That's it.
That's it. No sweetener.
Okay.
So I didn't sweeten it at
Well,
all.
you stayed with all the same color family, so
I-
thank you for that. But okay, so I'm happy to hear that there's other things in there like banana and
Right. What I like about it is that the cauliflower makes it creamy.
Oh, it
Really?
does?
That's what makes it so creamy and thick.
There's no cauliflower flavor here.
No, I don't
Doesn't
think
taste like it at all.
No, I taste the peanut butter and a little bit of the banana coming through.
That's about it,
And,
yeah.
and here's the thing.
Like an Elvis drink. Peanut butter and banana.
Banana. I made it early this morning. I had a breakfast meeting before coming on the segment, and so I made this at 4 o'clock this morning. And I was worried that it was going to have that sulfur forward.
Right.
I don't think it does.
No, it's really good.
I think
Not
it
at
came
all.
out great.
All right, so cauliflower,
Who knew?
it really is the miracle vegetable that
It's
can
the bomb.
take on all these different forms. Now, if you want to ask Sheree a question, what's the best way to get a hold of you so you can tell them how to make these cool things?
Drop me an email at info@fork-road.com or visit my website, www.fork-road.com. And you know I'm going to ask you, what do you do with cauliflower? What have I forgotten? What have I overlooked?
All right, that works.
Perfect.
All right, it is 19.